Rewind. This is Dope Nostalgia.
Everybody, welcome to Dope Nostalgia once again. This is episode 288. Special guest, he goes by the name of Red Jackson. He's a very young man who has had the opportunity to talk to so many people who worked with Michael Jackson, related to Michael Jackson, produced, choreographed, all these different facets of Michael Jackson's career. And this young man, especially during like the COVID years and beyond, just went for it. He went for trying to get interviews. He created a YouTube channel and he was very successful at it. So it's nice to have him on the show and learn a little bit about what he got done in MJ's world. And I asked him if he wanted to join me to do like a track by track review of one of the greatest Michael Jackson albums. In my opinion, I absolutely love the album Dangerous. Came out in 1991. I'm going to give you some information on that album first. Wikipedia moment.
Please bear in mind that Wikipedia can be edited by anyone at any time. If I am reading you the artist's bio, then you know it's information straight from the source.
By 1991, Michael Jackson was already the indisputable king of pop. But as a new decade dawned, music was changing rapidly, and so was he. Seeking complete creative control and a fresh sound, Jackson parted ways with longtime producer Quincy Jones to craft his 8th studio album, Dangerous. The result was an ambitious, groundbreaking record that redefined pop and R&B for a new generation. To modernize his sound, Jackson teamed up with New Jack Swing pioneer Teddy Riley, along with producers Bill Bottrell and Bruce Swedian. Together, they fused aggressive industrial rhythms, synth-heavy funk, and street-level hip-hop with Jackson's signature pop melodies. The album also broadened Jackson's lyrical scope, tackling complex topics like social justice, unity, lust, and self-improvement. Released in November 1991, Dangerous was an instant global smash, debuting at number 1 in 15 countries and becoming the best-selling album worldwide of 1992. Much of that success was driven by 9 powerhouse singles. Lead single Black or White exploded onto the Billboard Top 100, reaching number 1, backed by a cinematic, record-breaking music video. Somewhat controversial as well, if you look up the long version. Other tracks like Remember the Time, In the Closet, and Will You Be There, which doubled as the theme for the film Free Willy, anchored the airwaves for over 2 years. Visibly, artistically, visually, the album was a masterpiece. Mark Ryden's iconic cover art wrapped the project in mysterious, surrealist imagery, while the album was supported by the massive, high-concept Dangerous World Tour, which grossed over $100 million. Having sold more than 32 million copies globally, Dangerous stands as one of the best-selling albums of all time. It captured Michael Jackson at a crucial turning point, proving he wasn't just maintaining his throne, but actively evolving the sound of modern pop. All right, my special guest today, let's welcome to Dope Nostalgia, Red Jackson. Okay, welcome to Dope Nostalgia. This is Red Jackson. He has had the opportunity to really dive into the history of Michael Jackson, the people he's worked with. You've gotten to interview a lot of cool people, and I'm happy to have you here. How are you today?
I'm really good. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to come here and talk about all things Michael Jackson today. I've been really, really fortunate because I didn't grow up with Michael Jackson, because I'm 18 now. So I was really young when he passed. So I've been kind of on this journey discovering all his music as someone who wasn't alive back then. So it's I fell in love with it. So yeah, really excited about this.
What attracted you to his music? Like, where was the initial, like, oh, I like this?
Yeah. I think, you hear it anyway. I mean, when I was younger, I probably heard Thriller and Billie Jean from time to time, but I never really thought too much about it. But I went to a Michael Jackson tribute show once, and hearing the music being played live and seeing the people dancing to it, that's what captured me. It was more kind of the dancing and the performing more than the music itself initially.
Mhm.
And so I never really saw, Michael Jackson first. It was a tribute show, so people pretending to dance like him. Um, and so then it was sort of going back online on YouTube, on Spotify, and listening to all this and just being blown away. Um, so yeah, it went from there really.
I feel like there's a real resurgence, of course, with the movie Michael that just came out not too long ago. But a lot of people your age and younger are really into Michael Jackson's music right now. Do you think that's because of the movie, or do you
Totally,
think that's
totally.
something else?
I think it's definitely because of the film, because I've been a fan since I think 2017 now. I've had the YouTube channel since 2020, and literally just this year, I've just seen a huge increase, whether it's friends or people I know, in day-to-day life who are my age. Um, Even like views on YouTube, I'm seeing lots of people who are younger starting to watch Michael Jackson videos, or I'm getting people who are perhaps older and they're kind of revisiting, they remember maybe growing up with his music and they're
Mhm.
sort of revisiting all Michael Jackson's work. So it's 100% because the film, they did such a great job. And that's totally sort of, you know, like you said, a resurgence.
Now, you said 2020 was when you started your YouTube channel,
Yeah,
and how did you develop it, and what was your goal with it?
right. So yeah, I'd been a fan for 3 years then. In 2020, I was 12, so it was the COVID lockdown. Um, And like all kind of people my age at the time, the dream in life, like dream job was to be a YouTuber, And so I'd always had an interest in YouTube and that type of thing. And in COVID, I think so many people started podcasts. And I just thought there wasn't really anything where people were doing interviews with people who knew Michael Jackson and worked with him, video interviews. There were a few like audio podcasts and things, but I liked sort of having the visuals and seeing clips on screen and everything, and that didn't exist. Um, and so I was 12 and I thought, I mean, they're not going to want to speak to me. I'm 12 and I'm not confident enough. So I started off sending, I'd like email questions to people and they would record themselves answering it and just put that out. And after doing that for a while, I just kind of decided I'm gonna try and do it as a Zoom call. And my earlier ones are absolutely terrible. I can't look at them. It's so embarrassing. I was so shy, but I kept going with it. And over the past 6 years, I've had the pleasure of interviewing people who worked with Michael Jackson. So whether that's band members or choreographers or bodyguards, just kind of learning about all different aspects, of his life. Because, I mean, I wasn't alive at the time, and so it's kind of learning about history through the eyes of the people who were kind of closest to him. Um, but yeah, I never thought it would really be possible. But people started responding to my emails, and yeah, I've been very fortunate.
Very. It's really taken off. And I honestly think that people would be intrigued to talk to somebody of your age more so than somebody who's older. I think it's a really interesting concept. And I think that they want to help satisfy your curiosity about what's going on. So I'm glad you went
Mm.
for it.
Yeah, thank you so much. Totally. I think because I used to be super shy, and now, I'm more than happy to speak in front of people. It's
Mhm.
sort of personally, it's really helped. And it's kind of put me on a career path too, because now I'm pursuing journalism as a career. and I never would have found out without the YouTube channel, which I wouldn't have started if it wasn't for Michael Jackson, which I wouldn't have
Hmm.
started if I hadn't gone to that one Michael Jackson tribute show. So it's all kind of like led me down a certain path. So yeah, eternally grateful, really.
What are some examples of interesting guests you've had?
Yeah. I think in terms of views, the ones that are most popular and get the most views are always the bodyguards. I don't
Yeah.
know why. I think maybe it's that kind of closeness and proximity to Michael, but I've interviewed his bodyguards, in the later years, when he was sort of as a parent and looking after his children and kind of off the radar. And bodyguards, kind of during his prime in the 80s and 90s, and they talk about kind of death threats and fans who would like just run towards Michael and he'd have to pull them off the stage and crazy things like that. I've interviewed band members, so like his guitarist Jennifer Batten with the long blonde hair.
Hmm.
Um, everyone's been so nice. Body doubles. So obviously, because say when he was shooting videos for the Dangerous album, he's so busy, he has people standing in, when they're setting up with the lights and everything. And they've also used as like decoys, so they'd be sent outside for the paparazzi and all the fans while Michael could escape kind of a bit more peacefully. So it's just crazy that so many people were involved in this person's life and they all have such unique stories and it's kind of interesting discovering different kind of aspects of it. Whether that's in the studio or on tour, or maybe more in his personal life. It's fascinating.
He's definitely, I think, the most interesting celebrity that ever lived, and like, of course, people are going to
Mm.
be fascinated by his life. So I'm happy to have an expert like you here today to talk with me about the album from 1991,
Yes,
Dangerous. My favorite Michael Jackson album, to be
absolutely.
honest.
That's your favorite? Has it always been?
Always been. I think I didn't really
Mm.
start listening to him until this album because like I grew up at the in the era where he was big in the 80s, of course, massively so, but I wasn't really listening to popular music that much at that time. So,
Yeah,
is when Black or White came out that I was just fascinated. And then that epically long video and then it was all controversial and they had to cut it.
right.
So, after that I was really into his music. But that album, especially
Mm.
because it's got so many New Jack Swing elements to it. I love the production. I love so much about it.
Absolutely.
Is Where does this album rank for
Yeah, totally.
you?
Oh, that's such a tough question. I mean,
Mm.
like it varies day to day, I might have a favorite song one day and it might be totally different the next day. Um, I think for me, Bad tops Dangerous.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I mean, it's like comparing some of the best albums of all time, right? So it's like,
Yeah.
how can you compare them? Yeah, I think sort of Bad and Thriller and then Dangerous for me. Um, just so many classics like Black or White, Dangerous
Mhm.
itself is great, so many, and that kind of, yeah, the New Jack Swing kind of vibe and Remember the Time, and then it's sort of balanced out with like that rock of Give In to Me. It just kind of,
Yeah.
it covers so much in one album. It's a awesome one.
Yeah. There's a lot of songs that sound completely different from one another. Um, and
Mm.
nowadays you can Google the mysteries of the album and find out things. But we used to have lots of questions. For instance, who the female was in the closet. On the song In the Closet. Because at first we thought, oh, I think it's Madonna, right? Now, have
Yeah,
you heard all about this?
I have, yeah.
Yeah. So, so no, I think originally it was supposed to be Madonna. She was supposed to work on this song with him. Um, and from what I understand when looking it up, she made what she wanted to do on the song was too spicy for Michael.
Is that what you heard? I didn't hear that part. I heard it was originally supposed to be Madonna, but I didn't know that much about it.
It ended up being Princess Stephanie of Monaco. For those who don't
So
know, now you know.
so out of the blue, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think he had a good relationship with the Monaco royal family because he was always front row at the World Music Awards, which is the event that they put on every year. I don't know if it exists anymore, the World
Yeah.
Music Awards.
I mean, around the kind of dangerous time though, he was, doing all the award shows. He did performance on MTV, AMAs. That was kind of a huge part of, I guess, the promotion of that album. He'd perform the song Dangerous all the time, but he'd always kind of keep it fresh. I think that's, I mean, from what I'm seeing looking back at all that, it seems like that created so much buzz and mystery around it all rather than just, releasing the album itself.
Hmm. Well, of course, he had some really big heavy hitters in the production of the movie. Teddy Riley being a big part of the album. Bill Bottrell. Have you interviewed Bill before?
I haven't, no, I haven't been able to interview him, but I met him. Um,
Oh,
he's done
sweet.
amazing work with people like Sheryl Crow. Um, yeah, I think he worked more heavily on like "Given to Me" and "Who Is It," some of those type of songs. He's
Hmm.
a legendary producer.
And a rapper on this album too, because there is a track that he did the rap on as a demo, and then Michael liked it, so they kept it. We'll get to that. But yes, yes. But because I'm such a big fan of the genre of New Jack Swing, that is also what really appealed to me about this. And the
Mm,
album artwork. I recently did an episode about the 90s greatest album covers. Um, and this was on the list for sure.
it
What
has to
strikes
be, right?
what strikes you about this album cover?
Oh gosh, I mean, first of all, there's so much going on. There's so much to kind of look at and take in. But I think, the eyes in the center of it,
Hmm.
you look at that and you know it's Michael Jackson just from the eyes. I think that's so kind of striking. And I
Hmm.
think that kind of matches like the album sort of packed such a big punch, didn't it? From the
Hmm.
opening with Jam, I think the cover sums it all up.
And you know what's funny in this day and age where we listen to a lot of things on shuffle, sometimes you forget the track listing order, which I did.
Hmm.
And I realized that in my head, the album started with the song Dangerous, but Dangerous was actually near the end or the last
Yeah,
song, wasn't it?
it was. Yeah, I think Jam, that works so well as an opening though. That like sort of crash sound at the beginning. It just is such a different style of music compared to Thriller and Bad, and especially Off the Wall, which is so much more sort of pop influenced.
Hmm.
This was just so much more kind of heavy hitting in a different way.
Yes, and Jam came out later as a single. It wasn't chronologically. I thought it would be earlier, but it's not because Black or White was the first single off this album. But the video is cool because you've got Michael Jordan in it, right? I'm just reading off to the side here. That's why I'm not looking directly at you. You got Michael Jordan, who is a huge NBA legend. I think around that time it was like one of the heights of his career.
Oh
Um,
yeah.
for some reason, maybe it's because of the name Jam. I thought it was in Space Jam, but I don't think it
Mm.
is.
No, I don't think it is, but it's similar because that was like basketball too, right?
Yeah, and it was Michael Jordan, and it was
Yeah, and
his movie.
I'm pretty sure the director of Space Jam worked with Michael Jackson as well on some other music videos. I think it's the same guy. Don't quote me
Mm,
on that. But Michael Jackson, I guess he kind of, all the top people, in every industry wanted to work with him. He had like Martin Scorsese direct the Bad video. He sort of attracted all the sort of top caliber talent. And
mhm,
I interviewed someone once who he's an illusions designer. So all the kind of tricks in Michael's live concerts where he'd disappear and appear another side of the stage, in songs like Thriller and things, he said that once you got to work with Michael, that was like your free pass. Anybody else would hire you because you've worked with the best of the best, so you must be best of the best.
Yeah. He put a lot of people to work in a good way.
Mm.
That music video also featured him playing basketball with Kris Kross, which was a huge rap duo of the day. I don't know
Yeah,
how much you know about them, but they stylized wearing your clothes backwards for a very short
they
time.
did.
Yes, they
Wow.
literally wore their clothes. They wore their like overalls, their jeans,
Yeah,
t-shirts, or like baseball jerseys and stuff, all backwards.
yeah.
Yeah,
Interesting.
it was a thing. and
Wow.
Naughty by Nature also made a cameo and appearance. But the rap is Heavy D. Heavy D,
Hmm.
the legend. Fantastic rap. I really enjoy it. Yeah. So I'm kind of going track by track to talk about each song.
Okay.
And please feel free to let me know which ones your favorites are. Um,
Okay.
I kind of like some of the deeper cuts on the album as some of my favorite
Uh-huh.
tracks. But the thing is, there's really so much good. Like, there's so many well written songs that it's hard to say.
Mm.
I don't think there's really any filler on this album, except maybe one song, which I'll get to. One song that doesn't do it
Ooh.
for me. In
Okay.
fact, I forgot it existed. We'll get there.
Oh. Wow,
Okay.
that's rough.
All right. Why You Want to Trip on Me, number 2. This is one of those classic songs where Michael's telling everybody to leave him alone, just like the
Yeah.
song Leave Me Alone.
Yeah, it's like a follow-up to that, I guess.
Yeah.
That's a great one. I think that one definitely goes under the radar a bit more. But yeah, that's a great track.
Yeah. It's got a little bit of a darkerness to it. Um,
Mm.
so it's in an interesting place on the album to be second. I thought it would be buried in a bit deeper, but it's not. He had something to say, and it's co-written with Teddy Riley again. You can really tell Teddy Riley's influence on Michael Jackson's New Jack Swing sound because Teddy Riley basically was one of the inventors of New Jack Swing.
Yeah.
Hmm. Number 3 was In the Closet, the one featuring Princess Stephanie of Monaco. How well do you know that one?
That's a great one. Yeah, totally. The music video is controversial and risky and popular.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I think every video Michael did was so kind of distinct from all the others. You can't compare Jam with In the Closet. They're so completely different. And like what you said about the track list and the order of the songs, I think that was kind of like a huge decision for Michael because he'd record so many songs and then sort of cut it down that way. So there's
Mm-hmm.
loads of unreleased demos, some really great ones too. And there's a video on YouTube of Michael deciding the track list, what order all the songs will go in, and they're
Oh.
kind of just shifting it around and moving things up and down, with his engineer Bruce Swidien. Um,
Hmm.
and yeah, it's so much kind of thought went into that because it would be listened to, as a whole album.
Yeah. That's the art that's kind of missing nowadays is the art of the whole
Mm,
album from front to back
yeah.
and the order of the tracks. And because we're in a singles driven world now.
Mm.
So I do definitely miss those days. The music video, yes. The music video is aesthetically beautiful. It's kind of a sepia tone to it.
Mm.
Directed by Herb Ritts, who was a massively famous photographer of that day. Rest in peace. He, uh, they got Naomi Campbell, huge supermodel, and supermodels in that time in the '90s were some of the biggest stars in the world.
Right.
Yeah, it's not really like that now, but um so like I said, Princess Stephanie on the album does the female part, but in the music video, her vocals were re-recorded by Naomi Campbell and she does them in that. But yeah, how do you like that video? You said it was kind of risque and controversial. Is it because of like how they were dancing together and such?
Yeah, and I think sort of behind the scenes there's some kind of clips and controversy. Yeah, it's
Ooh,
not my
tell.
favorite one. It's not my thing.
Okay.
I think I think people very much liked sort of the chemistry between the two of them. Um, yeah, not my thing so much. I prefer some of the other tracks on the album that we'll get to later on. But some people really like it.
Number 4, She Drives Me Wild. This is another really, this might be one of my favorites.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love this song.
Yeah, it's another bumping one with Riley writing. The rap is by Rex and Effect. I'm pretty sure they do Rump Shaker, which was their big hit in the 90s. Um, yeah, I like that line. It got me looking like buckwheat. Yeah. What is it about this song that appeals to you?
Oh gosh, what appeals to me? I think the kind of, I mean, if you just listen to the instrumental version, it's so kind of not just catchy, but it's kind of serious. Like, Michael Jackson means business, you know what I mean? It's, yeah, just hard hitting. And I think that is such a contrast to like Thriller. And, Michael kind of, I imagine he wanted to kind of redefine himself in his image. And I think this kind of new, darker, more serious kind of tone of songs like that, it's just something so different and fresh compared to what he did before. And I mean, coming off of Thriller and Bad, which were huge, it's like, how do you top that?
Hmm.
And I like how instead of doing a similar thing, he went in a different direction. I mean, this was his first album without Quincy Jones, right? He kind of went off on his own a bit more and
Yeah.
got these uh, new producers with a new sound. And Michael always kind of wanted to find new sounds and sort of go beyond the newest thing and sort of create and innovate sounds. And I think this song really kind of shows that.
He's got that. It's the beginning of those songs where he has those slamming beats that are like, and the songs are a
Mm,
bit heavier and in some
yeah.
way heavier pop music. You'll see more of that in Michael Jackson on the album's History, and the
Mm,
album Invincible. Like that happens later. He does that more. Songs like 2000 Watts, you know.
yeah.
But this is kind of the beginning of that kind of sound for him.
Totally, totally. And he just leaned into it more and more then.
And I love how it starts with the car honking and the slamming
Yeah.
beat boom. Now,
Hmm.
generally, if I'm driving, do you drive?
I do, yeah.
I can't stand listening to songs that have sirens in them.
Mm.
Like that drives me nuts. But the honking,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know it's coming. So
Yeah.
so I'm prepared for it when I'm driving
Yeah, brace
because
yourself.
I know
Yeah.
where it belongs. But if I'm listening to like the radio and there's like a song with a siren or a radio commercial with a siren, drives me nuts.
Drives you wild.
There you go. You're good. You got this. Now we'll go into track number 5, Remember the Time.
Love that
Huge.
one. Yeah.
Huge. And it's more laid back. It's got like kind of like a slower BPM, more of a groove to it. Second single, I believe, from the album.
Right. And then, I
Another
mean, at the end, it gets so much more kind of aggressive and he's kind of ad-libbing, over the track. And that
mhm.
is just so, it's kind of satisfying to listen to it. It's growing and growing. You know what I mean? It's
On the
an
phone, you
awesome.
and me. Yeah. We got another killer video. Another killer video full of stars. Michael Jordan, or not Michael Jordan. He was in the other one. Magic Johnson, Eddie Murphy, Aman, the supermodel. Like, oh yeah, Tommy Lister. He was in this too. But yeah, Michael didn't just make music videos. He made little small films, right? And this was definitely one of them, where he comes to the Egyptian pharaoh and seduces Aman. It's beautiful once again.
Yeah, and I mean the costumes and the whole kind of set design of it, like I said earlier, so different from every other thing he'd done. And he had two main choreographers on it, including Buddha Stretch, who was kind of hip hop, like a hip hop style choreographer who'd done a lot of work with Will Smith. And so again, he's sort of going for these new, different people to just kind of create a new style. I mean, that dance break is iconic and so cool when there's rows and rows of Egyptian dancers doing it. It's amazing.
It totally has that walk like an Egyptian feel in the choreography. And I was going through a phase around that time too, where I was obsessed with all things Egypt.
Yeah.
So I was like, this is cool.
This is the stuff, yeah. And directed by John Singleton as well.
Yep. Huge movie director.
Yeah.
Number 6, Can't Let Her Get Away. Oh, I love it. I love this tune.
Kind of similar to She Drives Me Wild a bit in its sound.
I get them confused with each other sometimes. They're the two songs that are most similar, I think, on the album.
I think so, yeah. But I mean, when you listen to some of the like unreleased demos for the album, which you can find on YouTube and places, there's not really that many others that sound like this. And so, I mean, it's interesting as to why they chose kind of two similar sounding ones. But I guess that was just kind of the vibe he was going for.
It's got it's weird because the melody and his singing go into so many places in this song. Because in the bridge, he's very hard hitting again. He's like, "It's never gonna stop, never gonna stop me." Like, and then in the pre-chorus, he's like, it's all soft.
Yeah.
And yeah, he goes to so many different places vocally.
But that's what makes Michael Jackson so great, right? Because you don't know where he's going to go. And he can do both of them so well.
So true.
After these messages, we'll be right back.
Hello, listeners. It has been such an experience doing this show for the last 5+ years, but it gets expensive. If you didn't know, there's a lot of costs that go into making a podcast. That's why we have our Patreon page, patreon.com/dope nostalgia. That's where you can go and subscribe, get all the extra details, bonus videos, and early podcast release for as little as $1 a month. Please subscribe today and help support one of your favorite podcasts.
Yo, this is Scotty G.
I'm DJ T.
I'm HB.
And you're listening to Dope Nostalgia Podcast. Oh!
Yeah, Dope Nostalgia. Y'all don't get it? Y'all got it now. And be dope, because it's nostalgiaistic.
Go get that, go watch that, and do whatever you need to do. Dope Nostalgia. Funk Bees, Funky Bunch. World famous Funky Bunch.
World famous Funky Bunch because testing the mic's a pleasure. Dope now nostalgia. Oh!
Movie Friends is a film podcast for everyone, where two friends discuss some of the greatest films. Yes, Michelle?
Did you rehearse that?
Well, I'm reading it off a script for the commercial.
It's really not a commercial, it's a promo, but
Oh.
Did you really think a script could describe our show?
Words are generally what are used to describe things,
No,
so yes?
no. Our show is fun. It's all about the dynamic between you and me and how you're a movie guy and how I'm definitely not a movie guy.
But you are like a movie guy.
No, and we talk about movies and we talk about life and cats and we're joking all the time. People listen for that stuff, not the movie stuff.
Right, but the movie stuff is like, that's the stuff.
Wow, maybe you should have rehearsed this more.
Movie Friends. It's a podcast about film.
It's a podcast about friends. Listen and subscribe wherever you get your podcasts and follow on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Patreon at Movie Friends Podcast. We want to be your movie friends.
Hello there. I am Jonathan Simkin. I'm the president of 604 Records. I'm here to welcome you to my new podcast, I Hate Simkin. It's not really about hatred of Simkin, though. That's what my life's about, but that's not what the podcast is about. I think if you watch it, you're going to learn some pretty interesting things about what goes on behind the scenes in the music business, how it works, and by that I mean how it really works, how it works when you're behind the scenes. And not just things like how do you make a hit, but even all the petty kind of stuff. Who was fighting with who? Why were they fighting? Something about being with my wife and running into him. I just saw red, and we actually got into a fist fight. So you're going to hear all sorts of weirdo gossip spoken by a bunch of old in the music business like me. I'm going to have guests like Mike Kruger from Nickelback, Michael McCarty, Jody Ferniehow, and if you like what you hear, and I know you're going to, you should hit the subscribe button. It's going to be all sorts of crazy week after week.
Who is it? Who is it?
Number 7. Now we're getting into some of the ballads on the album too, like the slower songs, and this one being huge. Heal the World. Tell me what you know about Heal the World.
Heal the World, not my favorite one, but I mean, Michael seemed to love it. I mean, that's what he ended his Super Bowl performance with in '93, because that was, that kind of summed up his whole message, right? So yeah, Heal the World. He, at the end of the Super Bowl performance, everybody in the audience had these kind of cards that they flipped around to create a big kind of visual, picture from above. And he performed this one a lot on tour as well. Yeah, not my favorite one. It's not one I'd maybe choose to listen to, but I mean, it's a great song. It's got a great message, and so yeah.
The sentiments and the message are what's important about that song.
I think so.
Listening to it, it's not my favorite musically. It's okay, but it is still a masterpiece in how it's recorded and how they end it with the choir of children singing together.
Totally.
Like, it's really, really nice. It's also the song that closed his memorial service.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So it was a very important message to him.
Totally. And you've got that introduction as well with the children speaking. It's, from the get-go, it kind of, it's all about the message, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was important. Now we're going to get into, I said some ballads, but then this one comes up, Black or White, the lead single off the album.
Such a great song.
Number 8. Yes, it is. And this is, Epic Records describes it as a rock and roll dance song about racial harmony. So, and we got Macaulay Culkin in the video and George Wentz of Cheers kicking it off. They did this, have you heard of the song We're Not Gonna Take It by Twisted Sister?
No, that doesn't ring a bell.
So the intro where Macaulay's playing his music too loud, he's playing his guitar too loud, and then the dad comes in and gets mad at him and tells him to turn it down or whatever. That is taken from Twisted Sister.
I never knew that.
Yeah. Wow. Or it's an homage to that.
Yeah. Wow.
There's so many things going on in this video.
Oh, yeah.
Even after they cut out the whole ending of it, that was controversial because of the dancing he was doing. That's why they cut it out. But John Landis was the director, who was a huge movie. See, like you said, it's an honor to work with Michael Jackson. You can do anything.
Exactly. I mean, he went from Thriller and came back for this, known kind of originally as an American Werewolf in London. Yeah, Michael he would bring back the same people time and time again. Like he had his choreographer Vincent Peterson work on this, who was also a dancer in Thriller and Beat It and assistant choreographer. So he had his kind of trusted collaborators. But then at the same time, he's like adding new people in as well, I think. But yeah, what a great song. I mean, going through all the different locations. I mean, ending it then with a kind of face morphing effect,
Oh,
which
the
was
face morphing was ahead of its
huge.
time.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I sat there and like watched that over and over. I'm wondering how they did that. And it's like now you can just do that on anything.
Yeah.
The mystery and the magic isn't the same anymore. But one of those faces was a very famous face. Tyra Banks, the supermodel.
Right.
She is in the face morph.
And then he also had Yuko Samida, who was a dancer who booked that job and then went on to tour with him. So, you know, he had lots of people, especially dancers, who would maybe appear in one of his short films, and then sort of a longer term relationship, you know, collaborating with him would come from that. She's the one who sort of spins around with the ponytail because they weren't just stationary. I mean, they were moving around, weren't they? Right? And so
Yeah.
I think that's what made it so, you know, the wow factor of how did they do that?
I can still see a lot of the faces in my memory, like the girl, the girl with the ponytail,
Yeah,
that's bobbing around. In the middle of the song, during the breakdown where he's like walking through the flames, and then there's the rap right after that. Of course, the rap was done by Bill Bottrell, the producer of the song. But that's where you see Macaulay Culkin and another great group of the day, Another Bad Creation. Those boys are also in the video. So how much do you know about some like Belle Biv DeVoe? Have you heard of that group?
I don't know much at all. I
Okay.
mean, I'm familiar with like some of the people he worked with, obviously. But I mean, he had so many famous faces in like all of his work. It's
Yeah.
I'm discovering everything still, and I mean, you could spend a whole lifetime just kind of learning about everything, you know, about his life and about all his work. So yeah, I'm not too familiar. But
What was really cool is that it premiered at the same time in 69 countries. 500 million people watched this video debut, the most ever for a music video, on different networks at once: MTV, BET, VH1, and Fox. Hey, and I'm in Canada, and what we have is called Much Music, and I remember it debuting on there too. So I'm pretty sure it would have been at the same time.
I mean, it was an event, right? I mean, now a music video just might release on YouTube, but back then it was, you know, from what I've heard, just from talking to people, it was like an event. You know, they had like the big premiere of the video, and
Yes.
it's just crazy to, you know, hear that and think about that.
Now moving on, we're more than halfway through the album. There's 14 tracks. Number 9, Who Is It? What a cool song. So laid back. What do you think of that one?
And it kind of builds and builds, doesn't it? Like a lot of Michael Jackson songs. You know, think Earth Song too, for example. It just kind of starts off a little bit softer, then by the end he's kind of almost yelling. That's a great track, and the music videos kind of captures that mysterious kind of vibe with all the blue tones. And yeah, it's a really interesting one. I don't think he's got many songs like that. It's definitely on the longer side. I think the album was criticized a bit at the time for being so long, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, it pays off, doesn't it? You know, listening to the whole song all the way through, it's amazing.
It's, you know what? I'd forgotten what the video looked like. You know, that's a video I want to watch again, actually. But because it wasn't initially aired in the US, that video. We saw it later in like the short films of Dangerous.
Right. Was it directed by David Fincher, I think?
Yes.
I'm pretty sure, yeah. And I mean, he's got such an amazing filmography. You know, I think Michael just kind of attracted the best of the best. And I think if he wanted someone who was top of their league to work with him, I mean, he could do it. He could command it, you know.
Some people think lyrically that the song is kind of a callback to the song Billie Jean, because he's asking the question, who is it? Is it my brother? Who is it?
I see that, yeah, I hear that. But never thought of that, never put that together. But yeah, it's could be seen as like a kind of continuation of that, I guess.
Yeah, it says he learns that she was unfaithful to him and wants to know with whom she cheated. Suspense. But it is a long song. I really like that because the wheel has brought no fortune. Still I cry alone at night. That's a cool line. Yeah. All right. Now here's the track that's so different. Number 10. This kind of reminds me of how Janet did Black Cat on Rhythm Nation as her rockin' tune with all the guitar.
Yeah.
Give In to Me. Number 10. That's
one of my favorites ever.
Me too.
I mean, I love when he did those kind of rock songs like Dirty Diana. I wish he did more like that, you know? It was it's just so cool to hear him doing that and kind of unleashing his whole voice. And I mean the guitar parts, that's
The video is very simple video. Stage performance, him and Slash cutting it up. But the song is so well written and the melody is cool. I love the bridge of the song. The bridge is the part that's like, you and your friends were laughing at me in town. That part is so cool.
Yeah. Definitely. And I mean, having Slash was huge. And he did so many stage performances with Slash. He performed Black or White with him several times, including on the Dangerous tour for a few concerts. He did like the MTV Awards with Slash. You know, they had a kind of working relationship. And in 1999, even up to then, you know, he did the MJ and Friends tour, which was with Slash too. So
wow.
Yeah, he collaborated with so many greats. And Slash was one of many people who just brought something, I think, really iconic to Michael's music.
Slash where am I going with this? I had a thought. Oh, some people think that Slash played on Black or White on the album, but he didn't. Just on this song. Live, yes, like you mentioned.
Yeah.
But on the album, just this one.
Just this one.
There's actually other members.
Sense, though.
Yeah, because it kind of sounds like his
It's
style
got
a little
that
bit,
sound, doesn't it? Yeah.
But there's actually other people from the band Guns N' Roses in the video. Well, Gilby Clarke is also in the video apparently. I didn't realize that. In my memory, all I remember is seeing Slash and Michael.
Me too, yeah.
But it was
I
actually
didn't recognize them.
Yeah, Gilby Clarke was also he was like the rhythm guitar player of Guns N' Roses at the time. So yeah, I guess he's in it too. There you go.
There you go.
Number 11, Will You Be There?
Yeah, that's
Big,
a
huge
great
ballad.
song. Big ballad, very big. I mean, wasn't that featured in one of the Free Willy films as well, which I've never seen.
Yep.
I've never seen any of those. But yeah, I mean, the choir at the end just kind of brings it all together. And the video was kind of like a mixture between clips from Free Willy and a live performance from the Dangerous tour, just sort of fading in and out. It's not really like many of Michael's other videos. It was something a bit more simple. But yeah, great live performance too. Really nice choreography, and he wore this sort of iconic white jacket. I think it kind of goes hand in hand with Heal the World a bit, the kind of whole message, and he'd have like the globe on stage, that whole kind of thing.
And a big choir of voices.
Yeah.
This one feels very very gospel, like it feels like it was like a church
spiritual
song. Yes.
Totally.
Yes. Now the Jacksons, their mother Catherine is a Jehovah's Witness. So I know that they were raised in that manner, but I don't know at what point I know that at one point Michael Jackson did go door to door as a JW, which would have been very hard to conceal his identity, I'm sure.
Yeah, I think that was, I don't know when exactly off the top of my head he sort of left, but he celebrated his first Christmas probably like in the 90s with Elizabeth Taylor in Netherlands. There's a video of it online.
Oh, yeah.
So yeah, it's interesting, but it had that kind of spiritual kind of sound to it, totally. Almost like the end of Man in the Mirror too.
Yeah, that's true. So he really liked that gospel sound and having a big choir.
Yeah. Absolutely. I think they came on stage with him for the 1988 Grammys performance where he did Man in the Mirror, and he'd always sort of spin and drop down to his knees. Yeah, he was kind of, he'd feel the music, and yeah.
Okay, this next song is the one that I forgot about on the album that I forgot existed completely. I didn't even remember what it sounded like.
Yeah.
It's called Keep the Faith.
I like that one. Yeah, that's definitely like a deeper cut, isn't it? It's,
yeah.
That's kind of got that similar spiritual sound as well. It's different to all the other Michael Jackson ones.
Yeah.
I don't think it was as big of a hit or as well known.
No, I feel like it was kind of buried a little bit. It wasn't a single, was it?
I don't think it was, no. But it was written by Saida Garrett, who sang I Just Can't Stop Loving You, and she wrote Man in the Mirror as well. And
She's a fantastic writer.
With him closely, yeah, and then toured with him on the Dangerous tour. But this was one that was never performed live either. It was just kind of, on the album, and I don't know, it didn't seem like it took off as much as the other songs.
There's another writer credit here, probably the producing as well, Glenn Ballard. Glenn Ballard is a huge name. He's worked with a lot of
duo.
He's worked with a lot of people. He's helmed Alanis Morissette's Jagged Little Pill in 1995, which was a huge album. So Glenn Ballard, another heavyweight on here for sure.
Totally.
Number 13.
One that doesn't get as much recognition.
Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. You're right. I didn't even know Glenn Ballard was on it. And you're right. And he deserves the recognition.
Yeah.
Number 13, Gone Too Soon.
Not one that I sort of choose to listen to often, kind of like Heal the World. I mean, not my favorite type of song, but I mean, anything Michael did musically was still great. And even if it's not maybe a personal favorite, it's still sort of, I mean, it's Michael's voice, and the way he would kind of communicate ideas was he'd have like a song in his head, and he might sort of beatbox it or sing the melody, and he could kind of hear it all in his head. So he'd kind of communicate that to his, musicians, mainly Brad Buxer, who was his music person basically, who he often collaborated with. But yeah, not my favorite one, but it's a Michael Jackson song, so it's not bad by any means. It's a great song. Just I don't think as popular as the other ones.
No, it's pretty. It's pretty.
It is.
It was released on World AIDS Day. It was a song he wrote for his good friend Ryan White, who was a young man who passed away of AIDS in the early 90s, and his story was very well known in North America because AIDS was still new at the time. And Ryan, became good friends with Michael. So the song raised money for AIDS research. Also, you know what the song was saying? This song is hard to listen to for me because it reminds me of his funeral, and it reminds of Michael's funeral. Usher sang the song at his funeral, and he broke up, started crying. It's really hard to hear the song without getting emotional.
That's what I mean. I mean, it's such a kind of somber one. It's not one I kind of choose to listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it goes nicely on the album, and then we kind of finish it off with a big bang for the next song.
that's the interesting thing is putting not that slow ballad as the last song, but putting another banger right at the end, the title track, Dangerous.
Yes.
He performed that song too. He performed Dangerous, I think, opening the American Music Awards either that year or the next.
I think that was 93. I interviewed, I think it was one of Michael's choreographers who said that sort of Michael always wanted to do Dangerous at all the award shows, and they kind of tried encouraging him to maybe do something a bit different. He always wanted to do Dangerous, but he kept it fresh with, maybe moving parts of the song around or slightly different bit of choreography. He was always kind of improving and changing his Dangerous performance. I think he performed that, from the early 90s. He did it Roseanne in 1999, MJ and Friends tour, which was a lot shorter concert, but that was one of the songs he did. He did it on the History tour. That was, it seems like that was one he really kind of treasured. Choreographed with Travis Payne and Lavelle Smith Jr., two of his sort of close dancers, turned choreographers, and really, it's almost like Smooth Criminal Part 2, right? When you're looking at the performance, really similar style with a hat and the kind of the jacket, the black and white sort of jacket. It's really
the fedora,
cool.
the armband.
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, it's cool because it's like the verses are kind of like whispered, like he says, he talks like this, the verses, and says them like that. And it's funny because I like to do this song at karaoke, but then I'm like, divinity in motion. Like I'm just like talking the whole thing, and then you finally get to the like pre-chorus, and I get to finally sing, and I'm like, yeah, this is awesome.
That's great.
Yeah, Dangerous is a killer track. Now, tell me, now that we've gone through each one, which one's your favorite?
Right now, if I had to choose, probably Give In To Me, just because it feels very, very distinct, and that kind of contrast between the verses and the chorus. I loved it when he did more rock kind of songs, and Give In To Me is possibly his best. And so, that one for me. How about you?
I love that choice. I'm going with Can't Let Her Get Away. And it was really hard to pick. Really hard to pick. But
I like that.
But then I look at another song and go, oh, wait, that one.
Yeah, right.
Which song do you think could have been left off the album?
Oh, don't say that.
I know. We try to keep things positive.
Oh.
But I do like to ask. Because not everything can be, we can't like absolutely everything. Sometimes, even with our very, very favorite artists, you might be like, oh, I don't like that one as much.
I mean, maybe She Drives Me Wild because it's so similar to Can't Let Her Get Away. I think just because they have such a similar sound.
Fair.
I don't want it off because you're making me. I'm going to say that one.
Because only because I'm mean.
Only because you're asking, yeah.
Mine would have to be the one I keep forgetting, Keep the Faith. No offense to Glenn or Sieta, because I feel bad about that. They're so talented, but it's just because the song I kept forgetting. So it's like it wasn't there in the first place for me, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a great album overall, though, coming off of Thriller and Bad, and Off the Wall before that. I mean, what a heavy hitter with so many iconic songs. It's legendary.
9 singles off of 14 tracks. You don't get that nowadays.
No.
So it is pretty epic.
Pretty epic indeed.
Would you like to add anything to before we wrap things up?
Would I like to add anything? I mean, as somebody with a YouTube channel where I interview people who worked with him, he had so many collaborators, work on the album, whether it's studio engineers or writers or producers or musicians. So many people went into, every part of making this. Like even with the music videos, he'd have a body double, who sort of stood in for him with the lighting. There's so many people who go into creating such a huge project. And I think they all deserve so much credit for creating such an amazing work of art.
Well said. I think you've summed it up very nicely. And I want people to be able to come and check out your interviews because I discovered you on Instagram.
Right, yeah.
So where can people find you?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram, redjackson_MJ. But my main kind of place is on YouTube. And my YouTube channel is called Red Jackson Dance. So on there you can find all sorts of interviews with people who knew Michael, whether it's sort of in the earlier years up until, the kind of later years as well. And so it's a pleasure to do what I do. And it's an absolute pleasure to speak with you today. Thank you so much for inviting me. It's been a blast.
It was lovely. It was really nice to get to know you and what you do. And I'm really inspired by how you've just gone out there and made this happen. I think it's incredible. And you're doing an amazing job.
Thank you so much. I really, really appreciate that. And love what you do with the podcast. Keep it up. And
thanks.
Love hearing about all the different sort of, all the classics because, I'm discovering it. I'm always discovering new artists as well. I love hearing it.
That is so cool. Yes. What do you have for goals coming up? Like, is there anything you can tell us? What's happening in this year for you?
Yeah, I mean, it's coming up to 6 years of the... No, we just passed 6 years of the channel now.
Time's gone by quick.
It has, yeah. I've been so fortunate to speak to... I always kind of had a list of people I really wanted to interview. And I'm always adding to it, right? And I've been really, really fortunate to kind of interview a lot of those now. And so it's getting better and better, and it's great, but it's also getting harder and harder because a lot of the people who worked with him may be off the radar, they're not on social media, or some of them just don't do interviews. And so it's getting more difficult, but I'm just always trying to find the next sort of big, exciting guest, because I think everybody who knew him has a story, and just hoping to speak with more people. And
get Latoya.
I wish. That would be amazing, right? That would be amazing. So, yeah, I mean, the goal would be someone from the Jackson family, right?
Absolutely.
I mean,
Or
just his
3T.
nephews from 3T. Yeah, I was about to say that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, fingers crossed. We'll see where things go. But yeah, I just feel, I have to pinch myself sometimes because I started off on Instagram, sort of doing videos of myself trying to dance in Michael's style, right? And I was following all the people he worked with, all his choreographers and dancers.
Mm-hmm.
And to think that I've been fortunate enough to be able to speak with them now is, yeah, I just feel really fortunate, really blessed. Yeah, the fact that these people who created such amazing work would give me, even half hour of their time. So yeah, that's the goal. Just keep it up, more, bigger, better. That's the plan.
You're doing great, and I love it. You have a great attitude, and yeah, I'm proud of you. It's awesome. Ooh,
thank you. I really appreciate it.
I got one last question for you. That's silly. Have you ever played the Michael Jackson dancing video game? I have it on Nintendo Wii.
Experience.
Yes.
I have. Yeah, I played it on the Xbox, which is the Xbox Connect, so you move around, and that was okay. I was I didn't get like full points on it, but I did okay. And then
It's
I played.
hard.
They've got it. It's so difficult, right? And then they've got it on the DS as well. But instead of like moving around, you're kind of like tapping to the music. So there's like these little circles, and you've got to like tap it in time.
Oh, that would annoy me.
And I was awful at that one. I can barely go like past the first thing. Like I am. Yeah. So I'll stick to the dancing one for now, and yeah, see how that goes first.
I liked it because it came with a sequined glove.
Yeah.
At least like the one on Nintendo did, and
yeah,
it's
great.
I still love that game, man. And it's a workout. It is all you sweat.
Oh, yeah. I mean, Michael would lose loads of weight, in the concerts because he'd sweat because it was like he'd go for like over 2 hours and his jackets were super, super heavy.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he'd come off just kind of like exhausted, I guess. And with the Dangerous tour in particular, they'd have it'd be Michael with a jetpack, and he'd kind of jetpack across the audience at the end of the show. It's like a big finale. Yeah, but that was kind of like a body double because they'd put Michael in the car and they'd have to just go because of the traffic and all the fans and paparazzi.
So it wasn't him doing it.
That. So it wasn't him doing it. No, I mean that's a bit too risky with a. Yeah,
well, and after the Pepsi
audience,
commercial, he probably doesn't want to get too close to like something like a jetpack.
Yeah, totally. But yeah, he just had to go because the Michael mania at the time. So there we go.
There you go, Red Jackson. All right, guys, check him out. And yeah, thank you for making the time today. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks so much. It means a lot. Thank you for having me.
You can follow Dope Nostalgia on Instagram at @dope_nostalgia and YouTube at Dope Nostalgia Podcast. Call and leave a message on our voicemail toll free. The number's 1-888-741-9192.
This podcast is licensed by SOCAN because we believe that artists should be paid for their work. Hey friends. I kind of miss getting those messages on my answering machine like we used to back in the day. What I'd really love is to hear from you, the listeners of Dope Nostalgia. This is your chance to be on the show, giving feedback, telling us what you love, what you hate, and who you'd like to see more of. Call us at our new toll-free number, 1-888-741-9192. Leave us some feedback. Your message could be played on the show. So give us a call, 1-888-741-9192. Toll-free.